She was about to hand over her $500 million inheritance to her husband, until she stumbled upon a shocking truth. To her, love had always meant giving without hesitation, and she was prepared to surrender it all. But in one single moment her world crumbled. The cruelest betrayals are often delivered by those we trust the most. What would you do if the very person you placed your trust in became the one who cut the deepest wound? Settle in as we take you through this unforgettable tale of love, trust, and treachery. Hello family, welcome back. Please remember to subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're joining us from. Sophia Williams awoke to the scent of fresh coffee, and the cheerful sound of her husband whistling from the kitchen. Daniel Miller stood there in a neatly pressed shirt, tie loosened, a relaxed smile across his face. When his eyes met hers, he lifted a steaming mug. Morning, gorgeous. Cream and 2 sugars. She smiled warmly, touched. You remember everything? I try, he replied, kissing her forehead. Big day today. You sure you're ready? Sophia took a sip, settling into her chair. I've never been more certain. You don't have to do this, you know, Daniel said softly. I don't want you to feel rushed. Daniel, you're my husband. Our life should be one, not divided by money. He chuckled, squeezing her hand gently. Our life. I love the sound of that. Just then her phone buzzed. A message from her best friend Lily. Are you sure about this? Call me. Sophia frowned, quickly typing back, I'm fine. I love him. The response was immediate. Love doesn't mean blind trust. Please be careful. She sighed, setting the phone aside. Everything all right? Daniel asked, curious. Lily. She thinks lawyers set traps. Daniel laughed softly. She's not entirely wrong. But today? There are no traps. Sophia squeezed his hand. Exactly. Today is about trust. Later, as she got dressed, her mother called. Margaret Williams's voice carried the tone of a woman not easily swayed. Honey, I heard, today's the day. Yes, Mom, Sophia said, forcing cheerfulness. I'm a little nervous, but I know what I'm doing. You don't have to give up your life's work just to prove your love, her mother said firmly. Why not create a joint trust? Why hand him everything? Because I don't want walls between us, Sophia answered. I want him to know I'm all in. A long pause, then her mother's voice softened. Trust isn't blindness, sweetheart. Trust sees clearly and still chooses. I know, Mom. I really have to go now. At the law office, their family attorney, Mr. Harris, greeted them with his steady smile. His sharp eyes gleamed behind his glasses as he ushered them into his office, where a tall stack of documents awaited. Mrs. Miller, he said, these papers will transfer the Williams estate fully into your husband's control. He leaned forward. Before you sign, I need to ask, are you doing this freely? Without any pressure? Yes, Sophia answered firmly. Daniel sat quietly beside her, posture relaxed, pride glowing subtly in his eyes. You understand the seriousness of this, Harris continued. This grants him complete authority, finances, property, company votes. I understand. He slid the pen toward her. There's no rush. You can take as much time as you need. I'm ready, she whispered, lifting the pen. But before she reached the last page, her phone rang again. Lily. Excuse me, Sophia said, stepping outside. The moment she picked up, Lily's urgent voice spilled through. Don't sign. Sophia, I had this dream you were trapped in a room with no doors. I know it sounds silly, but it felt real. It's not silly, Sophia said with a small laugh. But really, I'll be fine. No, listen. If he truly loves you, he doesn't need this. Promise me you'll think twice. Through the glass wall, Sophia could see Daniel waiting calmly, scrolling through his phone. He looked ordinary, patient, harmless. I'll think about it, she whispered. Good. I'll be praying, Lily said. Sophia tucked her phone away and stepped back into the office. Everything okay? Harris asked. Yes, she said softly, setting the pen down. I'll sign tomorrow. I just want one more night. Daniel's eyebrows lifted in surprise, but he quickly smiled. Of course. Take your time. Harris nodded approvingly. A wise decision. I'll hold the papers. On the drive home, Daniel held her hand. I'm proud of you, he said. For what? She asked. For listening to yourself. That takes strength. She smiled faintly. Thank you. At home, he cooked lemon chicken while Jazz played in the background. They teased each other, danced in the kitchen, laughed when he nearly dropped a spoon. The house glowed with warmth, the very life Sophia had always dreamed of. Over dinner, Daniel asked, "Remember our first date?" "The food truck festival," she grinned. "You spilled hot sauce all over your shirt. And you said it looked like art," she laughed. "That's when I knew I'd marry you," he admitted with a chuckle. "You were so nervous," she teased. "Terrified," he said, smiling. "But you were Sophia Williams. And now you're mine." After dinner, he insisted on washing dishes while she rested. Later, they curled on the couch, watching a movie. He kissed her hand tenderly during the credits. Every image of the perfect husband. "I'll make a few calls in the study," he said lightly. "Just some work. You relax." She nodded. "Okay." She put the kettle on for tea, then remembered he kept honey in the study drawer. Smiling, she walked down the hall. The door was cracked open, light spilling out. Then she froze. His voice sharp, cold, unlike anything she'd ever heard. "She didn't sign today. Tomorrow she will. Once she does, it's over. We'll move it offshore, then through the shell companies. She'll never see it coming." Sophia's body went numb. "She's in love," Daniel said with a mocking laugh. "She actually believes love means giving without limits. After tomorrow, the board will answer to me. By next week she'll be out." A billionaire heiress nearly signed it all away, until truth struck like fire. "Lily, please," Sophia said, forcing a smile so Daniel wouldn't sense the tension. "I'll call you later." "Fine," Lily answered reluctantly. "But soft, promise me, don't let love blind you." Sophia ended the call. "What was that about?" Daniel asked lightly. "She's just being protective," Sophia replied. "Protective or paranoid?" he teased. "Protective," Sophia said firmly. Daniel reached across the table, brushing her hand. "Well, I'm glad she's looking out for you. But remember, you've got me too. And I'm not going anywhere." Sophia forced another smile. "I know." Later that morning, as they drove to Harris and Levine's office, Daniel hummed along with the radio, tapping the steering wheel like a man without a care in the world. Sophia sat stiffly in the passenger seat, hands clenched tight in her lap. "You're awfully quiet," Daniel noted after a while. "Just thinking about everything," she answered vaguely. "Don't overthink," Daniel said smoothly. "Just follow your heart. That's what makes you you." Her lips pressed together. "And if my heart is wrong?" Daniel shot her a quick look, brow furrowing. "It isn't." Then he smiled again. "Your heart chose me. That's proof enough." At the law firm, Harris greeted them warmly, though his eyes lingered on Sophia a beat too long. "Mr. and Mrs. Miller, shall we?" They took seats at the long polished table. The documents were neatly stacked, the pen gleaming on top like bait. Daniel leaned back, hands folded, calm as ever. Sophia tried to mirror his ease, but her stomach churned. "Ready to move forward?" Harris asked. Sophia glanced at Daniel, then back at him. "Actually, I'd like a moment with you. Alone." Daniel's eyes narrowed slightly. "Alone?" "Yes," Sophia said, steady this time. Daniel chuckled softly, masking suspicion. "Of course. Take your time." He kissed her cheek and stepped out. "I'll be right outside." As the door closed, Harris leaned forward. "Tell me." Sophia's hands shook. "I overheard him last night. He said once I sign, it's over. He's planning to move everything offshore. He mocked me, said love means giving without limits. He called me blind." Harris's jaw tightened. "I feared this. He's been far too smooth, too eager. You did the right thing telling me." "What do I do?" she whispered. "You can't confront him yet," Harris warned. "He'll deny everything. He might even become dangerous. You need to act as though nothing's wrong." "And the papers?" "We'll restructure them," Harris said firmly. "On the surface, it will look like you're handing him control. In truth, it'll protect your assets inside a trust he can't access without your consent." Her eyes widened. "He won't know?" "He won't," Harris assured. "But you must keep calm. If he suspects, he could act rashly." Sophia swallowed hard. "I'll try." Good. Now breathe. Go back out there. Tell him you need one more night to feel sure. I'll prepare the revised documents. Sophia nodded, wiping her eyes, then opened the door. Daniel looked up immediately, his smile too quick. Well, I just want one more night, Sophia said softly. To be certain. He studied her for a long moment before smiling warmly. Of course. Take all the time you need. On the way home, Daniel wrapped an arm around her shoulders. You're nervous, that's all right. But tomorrow this will all be behind us. Sophia forced a smile. Tomorrow. That evening, Daniel was almost too perfect. He brought flowers, cooked her favorite dinner, told amusing stories from college until she laughed despite herself. He was attentive, affectionate, gentle. To anyone else, he'd look like a man in love. But to Sophia, every gesture now felt rehearsed, every touch an act. Her mind screamed with the words she'd overheard. After tomorrow she's finished. At dinner, Daniel raised his glass. To us. Sophia lifted hers, her hand steady only by force. To us. Their glasses clinked. A drop of wine spilled onto the table. Daniel laughed, blotting it with a napkin. Clumsy me. Clumsy you, she echoed faintly. Afterward, they curled on the couch. He rested his head in her lap, scrolling through his phone, showing her memes, making silly jokes. She laughed at the right times, stroked his hair as though everything were normal. Inside, her heart was stone. At one point he looked up at her. You really are the best thing that's ever happened to me. Am I? She asked quietly. Yes, he replied without hesitation. Why would you doubt that? She forced a small smile. No reason. Later, when he went to take a call in the study, Sophia's phone buzzed. Lily again. She slipped into the bathroom to answer. Tell me you didn't sign, Lily said urgently. I didn't, Sophia whispered. I told Harris everything. He's rewriting the papers. Thank God. Soph, you need to get out of there. What if he suspects? I can't. Not yet. If I run, he'll know. I have to keep playing along. Lily's voice trembled. You're scaring me. I'm scaring myself, Sophia admitted. But if he realizes I know, I don't know what he'll do. Promise you'll call me the second you're safe. I promise. From the study, Daniel's smooth voice drifted faintly through the door. Sophia ended the call, staring at her reflection in the mirror. The woman staring back barely looked like her. Dark eyes, tight mouth, bruised heart. She whispered to her reflection. The illusion is over. Now it's war. The next morning, sunlight cut through the blinds in golden stripes. Sophia sat at the table, staring at untouched toast. Her stomach twisted too much to eat. Daniel poured coffee at the counter, humming cheerfully. Big day, he said, sliding her a cup. You ready? She gripped the mug with both hands to hide the tremor. Yes. He brushed her hair back, kissing her cheek. I knew you'd come around. That's my girl. Thoughtful but loyal. That's why I love you. Her phone buzzed. A text from Harris. All set. Don't worry. Stick to the plan. Sophia quickly flipped the phone face down. What was that? Daniel asked casually. Lily, she lied. Checking in again. Daniel chuckled. That girl really needs to trust you more. Maybe she just knows how much I mean to her, Sophia said, watching him carefully. He smirked. You mean a lot to everyone. That's why they envy us. We're unstoppable. She swallowed hard. Not today, Daniel. On the way to Harris and Levine, Daniel whistled with the radio, tapping the wheel, almost giddy. He thought he'd already won. You know, he said, glancing at her. Once this is done, we should take that Napa trip. Just vanish for a week. No calls, no meetings, no family nagging. Just wine, food, and each other. Sophia forced a nod. That sounds nice. You don't sound convinced, he teased. I'm just nervous, she said softly. He squeezed her hand. Don't be. After today, there's nothing to fear. Her throat tightened. If only you knew. At the office, Harris greeted them calmly. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Miller. Right on time. Daniel grinned. We're ready. Sophia's knees felt weak, but she smiled. Yes. Ready. They entered the conference room. The stack of papers lay waiting, perfectly arranged. A black pen sat beside them. Daniel's eyes lit with hunger. Before we begin, Harris said smoothly, let me explain the structure. These documents transfer authority exactly as requested, but with protective clauses. Standard for estates of this size. Nothing unusual. Daniel waved it off. Of course. Whatever standard. I trust you. Sophia folded her hands tightly in her lap to hide their trembling. Shall we go page by page? Harris suggested. Yes, Sophia said quickly. Page by page. Daniel leaned back, feigning patience, though his gaze stayed fixed on the pen. As Harris read through each section, Daniel nodded absently, smiling. He didn't notice the hidden safeguards, the trust clause, the dual approval requirement, the careful protections buried in the legal language. Sophia signed the first page, then the second. Her pulse thundered with each stroke of the pen. You're quiet today, Daniel remarked. Usually you ask questions. I'm just trusting, Sophia replied faintly. Daniel laughed. Good. That's marriage. She signed another page. Harris gave her a discreet glance, then Daniel, his face calm but his eyes sharp. At one point, Daniel leaned close, whispering in her ear. This is history, sophomore. Today we're unstoppable. Her stomach nodded, but her face stayed gentle. Yes, unstoppable. At last, Harris slid the final document across the desk. This one makes it official. Daniel's eyes lit up. He leaned forward, nearly trembling with eagerness. Here it is. Sophia lifted the pen, her hand pausing midair. Daniel caught it. Cold feet, he teased. She shook her head. No, just making sure it looks neat. He chuckled. Always the perfectionist. With a steady breath, she pressed the pen down. Her name curved across the page like a secret inscription. Daniel exhaled in satisfaction. There it is. Done. Harris stacked the pages in order. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Miller. Daniel slipped his arm tightly around Sophia's shoulders. See, love? Just like I promised. No barriers left between us. Sophia smiled, though her chest felt empty. As they left the office, Daniel was radiant. He shook Harris's hand firmly. Thank you, sir. You've given us the happiest day of our lives. Harris met Sophia's eyes, giving a slight nod. She returned it. In the car, Daniel blew out a long breath. Finally. Do you feel it? We're free now. No more lawyers. No more shadows from your mother. No more doubters. Sophia stared ahead at the road. I feel it. He laughed, gripping the wheel. Tonight we celebrate. Marlowe's oysters, steak, champagne, the works. Sounds perfect, she murmured. Perfect, he echoed with a grin. Just like us. That afternoon, Sophia phoned Lily from the upstairs bathroom, her voice low. It's done. You didn't sign, did you? Lily's tone was sharp. I signed, Sophia whispered, but not the way he thinks. Harris fixed it. He doesn't know. Silence, then Lily exhaled. Oh, thank God, Soph, you nearly killed me with worry. I'm still afraid, Sophia admitted. He's certain he's won. He's already talking about moving money, planning trips. He doesn't realize he's trapped. Then let him walk into it, Lily said firmly. But you have to protect yourself. Don't let him see even a shadow of doubt. Sophia closed her eyes. I'm trying. That evening, Daniel returned home carrying champagne and fine chocolates. To us, he said, raising a glass. Sophia touched her glass to his. To us. He kissed her deeply. You've made me the happiest man alive, sophomore. She offered a faint smile. I'm glad. Tomorrow I'll start moving the transfers. Everything in motion. By next week, we'll be untouchable. Her blood went cold. Transfers. Just shifting money, he said lightly. Streamlining. Nothing for you to worry about. She forced a nod. Of course. That's the beauty of this, he said, slipping his arm around her. You don't have to worry. I've got it all handled. Inside, Sophia thought. Not this time, Daniel. Not ever again. Later, as Daniel showered, Sophia stood by the window, watching city lights flicker. Her phone buzzed, a message from Harris. Everything's secure. We'll catch him soon. Be ready. She typed back quickly. I'm ready. He suspects nothing. When Daniel emerged toweling his hair, he smiled. What are you thinking about? She turned, masking her expression. Just us. Good, he said, sliding into bed. Because that's all that matters. He pulled her close, drifting into contented sleep, convinced of his victory. Sophia lay awake, eyes open, heartbeat steady. The illusion was gone. The trap was ready, and Daniel Miller was walking straight into it. The next morning, Daniel woke certain he was the cleverest man alive. He whistled as he dressed, buckling his watch with the pride of a king. Sophia sat across the room, pretending to flip through a magazine. Her face calm, though her heart pounded in anticipation. Big week ahead, Daniel said, fastening his cufflinks. The money starts moving today. She looked up. Moving. Just shifting things around, he replied casually. You don't need to worry about details anymore. That's the beauty of this, sophomore. You can finally relax. I've got it. She forced a small smile. Of course. He bent to kiss her forehead. I'll make you proud. When he left, her phone buzzed. Harris again. He's making the first move. Authorities are tracking everything. Stay calm. She typed quickly. I'm ready. Later that afternoon, Daniel sat at his desk with his partner on speakerphone. Sophia lingered in the hall listening. His voice was sharp, greedy. It's working, Daniel said. The accounts are open. She signed everything. First 20 million's offshore already. Another batch tomorrow. By next week, she'll have nothing left but memories. The accomplice crackled back. You're sure she isn't suspicious? Daniel laughed. Suspicious? She kissed me good night and thanked me for protecting her. She hasn't a clue. Sophia's stomach twisted, but she stayed silent. Every word was being recorded. That evening, Daniel walked in grinning, pouring champagne. To us, he said, handing her a glass. She raised hers. To us. He sipped, eyes gleaming. By tomorrow, everything's in my hands. I mean our hands. Paris, Napa, anywhere. Just name it. She nodded faintly. Anywhere. Inside, she whispered. Tomorrow you'll be in handcuffs. The following day, Harris called. It's time. Bring him in. Don't warn him. Let him believe it's routine. Sophia's pulse raced. What will happen? You'll see, Harris said calmly. Trust me. Over breakfast, Sophia turned to Daniel. Mr. Harris wants us to stop by. Just a quick follow-up. He said it's standard. Daniel frowned. Routine? I thought we were finished. We are, she said softly. He just needs to finalize everything. Tie up loose ends. Daniel smirked. Lawyers, always dragging things out. Fine. Let's get it done. In the car, he was almost giddy. After this, I'll move the big sums. Then we're untouchable. Sophia kept her gaze ahead. Untouchable. At Harris and Levine, they were led straight into the conference room. Daniel sat tall, confidence radiating. Sophia folded her hands tightly in her lap, hiding the storm inside. All right, Daniel said briskly. What's this about, Harris? Some missing signature? Harris looked at him evenly. Something like that. He pressed a button. The room filled with Daniel's own voice, sharp, arrogant, cruel. Once she signs it over, she's finished. We move it offshore, then into the shells. By next week, she won't know what hit her. Daniel froze, his smile cracking. Another clip played. She thinks love means giving without limits. She's easy. Once the money's gone, I'm gone. His face drained white. He shot to his feet. This is illegal. You can't record me. Harris stayed calm. These were obtained lawfully. The accounts you tried to move were flagged. Every call, every transfer, every forgery, it's all documented. Daniel's voice wavered. Sophia, you don't believe this, do you? You know me. You know I wouldn't. Sophia met his eyes. Her voice was steady though her chest burned. I heard you myself, Daniel. That night in the study. You said I was blind. You said I was finished. His mask shattered. He dropped to his knees beside her. Soph, I made a mistake. I got greedy. But I love you. I did it for us. She pulled her hand away. You tried to take everything from me. But the only thing you've lost is me. The door opened. 2 officers entered. Mr. Miller, one said firmly, you're under arrest for fraud, attempted theft and forgery. Daniel stumbled back. No. This is a setup. Sophia, tell them. Tell them I'm your husband. Tears burned her eyes, but her voice stayed cold. You're not my husband. You're my betrayer. Please, he begged as the cuffs locked around his wrists. Sophia, don't let them take me. I can fix this. I'll give it all back. She shook her head. You never wanted to give, only to take. As the officers dragged him out, he shouted desperately, Sophia, I love you. Don't let them do this. But his cries echoed hollow. When the door shut, silence settled. Harris turned to her. You did well. Very well. Her hands trembled, but her voice was calm. Thank you. Outside, reporters swarmed. Cameras flashed. Microphones pressed close. Mrs. Miller, did you know about your husband's crimes? Do you have a statement? Sophia paused at the steps, looking directly at the cameras. Her voice carried the weight of everything she had endured. Trust is precious, she said. Give it blindly, and you risk losing everything. Guard it, test it, and it will shield you, even from those you love. The crowd went silent. Flashbulbs slowed. Sophia walked past them with her head held high. No longer the naive woman who thought love meant endless giving. She was stronger now, reborn through betrayal. And Daniel Miller was no more.